Apocalypse Hotel, episode 6 to 8 chat. Thank you very much for the like over on Facebook. Thank you very much. So chat, things are getting kind of interesting with this anime. I know a lot of you probably like pass this up constantly, and I would recommend that you don't. So I'm going to show you a little bit of spoiler, just to try to get you into it, right? Because it's a really good anime, really good one, and it gets more interesting. It gets more interesting. So check it out. So they finally leave the hotel. They've been living there for a while after they landed. The Tanuki family, right, chat? The Tanuki. They leave. They're kind of sad, but they're just moving right down the street. They they made a house down the street. Chat. These have got to be my favorite characters. They're adorable. Leo says he remembers starting this. It's really good. Oh man, it's really good. They got a few more new episodes. These got to be my favorite characters. Like especially the little brother with the gloves. That's so adorable. I've noticed that if you watch this, you notice that a lot of the scenes, they have gloves on, but another scenes they don't. And it's you kind of miss that because I think the reason why is because they have like these little like tanuki paws and everything, so it's kind of hard to animate that without forgetting about it. So they just put the gloves on them if there's too much movement. I'm assuming. So that's their house. They live kind of down there, just down the road. They scrapped their old spaceship for the parts and everything, which I thought that I literally thought they were going to be gone forever. I'm like, no, I love these guys. There's no way they're leaving. So this Terminator bot came out of nowhere, drops out of the sky, and then it goes to the hotel, breaks the front door. You can tell the door opening bot probably had a field day with that one. But because she's the head owner, right? The acting owner, acting owner. She, I didn't say acting a bunch of times for no reason. If you've seen the show, you understand what I'm talking about. So she greets him. He's like, "Okay, how can I help you?" Yada yada this, yada that. He thinks that this Terminator, reason why he's down there is to destroy all life on the planet. The problem is there's no life on the planet, at least no human life on the planet. So he's like, okay, I'll just destroy this hotel. He doesn't destroy the hotel. He decides to stay at the hotel. I love this show, Chad. And inside the robot is this, like, I think a boxing cat thing. Yeah, some type of boxing feline. And I think he's my second or third favorite character so far. At least my first favorite character that shows up inside of this anime. The guest, at least. So I like this part. This is funny. So their dad come out of nowhere and he starts talking mess. So he just gives him the one punch right in the face, chat. Oh man, this anime has, I gotta say this, chat. This anime has better action than Solo Leveling. There, I said it. Yeah. Yes, I will. Like I like Solo Leveling. It's a great anime. No, it's a really, really good anime, but it's not a great anime. If that makes any sense, right? It's not a great anime. It's a really, really good one though. Like I think it's almost perfect, really, but it's not gonna stand the test of time like a lot of these other ones. So how it won like anime of the year in the West, I have no idea. So a while back, I don't know if you guys remember this Big Worm, not Big Worm from Friday, the Friday movie. No. Leo says it's not hard to top Solo Leveling. How you feel about Solo Leveling, Leo? So there's this big worm at the apparently there's a bunch of big worms that was going to destroy the planet. Adrian, thank you very much for the follow. Adriana, thank you very much for the follow over on Facebook. I appreciate that. So he apparently eats them. He asked for them, like, hey, do you have any of these big worms? These like these big dune worm kind of worms, chat, that was in the later episodes. And he said, do you have any of these worms? I like those. She said, we don't have any more of those. They did have them at one point and cooked them, but they kind of ran out. So he goes out and finds every worm on the planet and just destroys them, saving the planet, right? That's so a lot of you might miss this little context, but the Earth is supposed to be done, right? Like even if the humans were to come back, the Earth was going to be done because of all these giant worms. but he pretty much, you know, fixed that problem. He closed that plot of the story, chat, with all these dune worms. Chat, could you eat a worm? Like a fried worm? Maybe it's like would it taste like bacon? Ugh. So this is the scene where he asks, like, I want you to start cooking these, all right? Can you do that in real life, chat? You just go out, get a turkey, kill it, and give it to the diner. Like, hey, can you cook this, please? Can you cook this? I want this particular turkey. Sir, we have our own turkey. Nah, 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 nah. This one called me names. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Leo says Solo Leveling was decent, but there are a lot of better animes. Yes. Yes, there is. Yes, there are. Yeah. Yes. You are 100% right on that. So, because the main character has spent a lot of time, because she spent a lot of time with him for a while. The little Tanuki girl was like, "Oh, they're in love." I'm like, "Huh, that would be interesting." Leo says, "Like JoJo." JoJo, yes, that's very true. However, I think the thing for Crunchyroll was like anime of the year. JoJo, I don't think they had a new JoJo this year. So we see the chat. We see the this Avenger wannabe team come down to Earth to try to fight the worm, right? And I fight the worm, fight this guy, and this scene right here, they is so good because they start fighting, right? And I gotta say, because these two, like, because apparently he's like a villain. He destroys planets of civilizations. That's the his thing, chat. And they're trying to stop him. So he's pretty much the villain, really. What makes this very interesting is why I like, and I'm using Solo Leveling because it's a good anime, right? One of the reasons why I like this fight scene better than any other fight scene, or at least the later fight scenes of Solo Leveling, is because I don't know if he's going to die, right, in this scene. And he's fighting them all by himself, right? He's holding his own, but you never know. It's that, chat. It's that. With Solo Leveling, I know that he's probably going to survive. With this, I don't know if he's going to live. And it's intense, right? That's one of the reasons why I like this fight scene over most fight scenes over in Solo Leveling. Because in the first fight scene of Solo Leveling, like where he was like still weak, then that was like pretty interesting. Like, okay, he could die, and he did, even though he failed. I don't know if we call it a fight, more like a slaughter than anything. But it's kind of like that, chat. When you take away the severity of the problem from the main character, then it's like, okay, what am I watching? So because of that whole nonsense with the because throughout this hotel's experience, there's some bad guys, right? Especially him, really. Like he was going to destroy the hotel, but he didn't, because there was no need to. There was no civilization on that planet, on planet Earth, and because of the Tanuki family's experience of running away from their own home, she proposes an idea to make this thing called the Rod of God. Right? It's this thing that they put into orbit, because it's something that you will see in real life, chat, eventually. Is that, and it's probably going to be something that the United States will do. Put rods up into outer space and then use it instead of nuclear weapons. Right? Those things have enough kinetic. Like, let's say you put a I don't know how heavy the rod has to be, but it doesn't have to be too heavy. But because it's falling from outer space, it will destroy maybe any city, depending on how big the rod is, right? Without the nuclear fallout, of course. So it'll be very effective at a warfare. She wants to build one. Leo says, "Oh right, Doom's beams or Death Laser." Without the laser part, I'm sure they do got lasers up in outer space with all the whole. There's this conspiracy that this Hawaii, some fires in Hawaii happened because of a space laser, and the crux of that is that there's a lot of blue. There's a lot of blue in the in Hawaii. There's a lot of blue in Hawaii that didn't get burned when the fires happened, and the theory is that reason why it didn't burn is because lasers don't burn blue fabric for whatever reason. And I'm like, what? Because yeah, it was very weird. It's very weird. I saw the aftermath of the fire, and it was just a lot of blue stuff. Like, I'm like, really? Huh? That's weird. Anyway, enough of that conspiracy. So, the main character and the little Tanuki girl kind of go back and forth. Like, she wants a rod of God to protect their stuff, protect the hotel, because they're tired of running from their home. They ran from their last home, and they don't want to run from this new home. She says, we don't need a rod of God. We need a satellite to bring in more aliens, for more business and everything, because that's her main focus. And to those of you who are just tuning in, she's an android, and she runs the hotel, and she's the employed by the hotel, and that's her family just hanging out. So there's no humans on this planet anymore. But she wants just a regular satellite, so she doesn't want a rod of God. They eventually compromise and just do both, a rod of God and a satellite. Which you can see right here, the satellite, and then that will advertise, and then there's the rod of God, and this is the rod right here. But something happens where she gets hit with a solar ray, right? Stuff goes haywire. They party because they don't know, and then she gets lost out into outer space. Chat. She gets lost out into outer space, and so a bunch of years go by because these Tanukis live for a very long time, and now she's older, right, chat? As you can see in this scene, there's no glove in this hand. But now she's older. She's a mature woman now. You can see a little bit of a cracking here, right? And the on the android, and she's taken over. She's the acting manager of the hotel. However, she finally falls back down to Earth. And little Tanuki girl finds her, or big Tanuki girl now at this point, finds her, and while she's putting her back together, she's having the robot girl is having these memories. They're kind of twisted a little bit to the point where she's seeing even her in the memories, which is a very powerful experience watching this, chat. It's very I would recommend anyone watch this. So she wakes up and she finds that her body is a tank now with claw hands. He pretty much went the Inspector Gadget route, with the whole claw hands. I don't know if you've seen Inspector Gadget, chat, but yeah, you got that. So he's happy to be alive. However, it's problematic because it's too bulky. It's hard for her to do her job. They finally got the hot springs going, thankfully. And I don't know who this is, chat. I'm going to assume that it's not. It's hard. Actually, I don't know who this is. It could be her brother. But here's the problem. She's hugging onto his arm. So I don't think that their society has that kind of relationship, with a brother and sister. But I can't say. I thought it was the brother, but I don't know. The problem is I haven't seen any other Tanuki, right? I haven't seen any other Tanuki species unless they a few of them came to the planet. So it's hard to say. I'm sure they'll get into it. I think it'll be a deeper story if some of the runaway Tanuki from their last planet came here. So it might be the case. They were isolated, but I think the writer went a little bit deeper and just said when we ever get into a flashback of what happened while she was out in space, they might not be siblings. But what's probably going to happen when they get into a flashback of what happened in the past, and they'll probably show that how she got together. So she freaks out because she can't do her job with this new body of hers. So she she goes on this rampage, and we also see the grandma's kind of sick. She's getting older. It's getting older and everything. And the main character, she goes through this transition on her rebellious phase, which is crazy. That's like a 1950s hairdo. You see the robots trying to say, "Hey, stop the war" and all this crazy stuff, but she doesn't care. This is adorable, by the way. That's easily a 1950s hairdo, chat. So she's upset, and she creates this massive robot. Now reading some of the comments about this scene, they said she had the time to make this huge robot, this massive robot, but she didn't have the time to fix what's her name's body, right? The main character's body. And now here's the thing, chat. I don't think she's gonna stay like that for very long, right? Because here's the thing: there are other robots that are like her that have died or like from whatever, and they're in a certain area. Eventually, I think they're gonna scrap them for parts, the other robots for parts, and like get her fixed up. I think that's what's gonna happen, chat. Because I don't think she's gonna stay like that for very long. This is just one of those scenes that is more of centered around her finding herself. I think that's what makes this episode so important. So they do. So here's a fight scene inside of this anime, chat, where these two fight it out, and it's crazy. They're like fighting on the side of a tower, like, you know, they're flying through the sky, they're doing all these things. The fight scene in this particular episode, or this anime really, because they're being really good, is even better than Solo Leveling. And I say that because while Solo Leveling has crazy cool fight scenes and everything, I don't feel anything when I watch it. I don't feel anything when I watch Solo Leveling's fighting. I don't. I'm just standing there. Well, I'm just sitting there like with like deer in the headlights, just seeing what's going to happen next, right? It's cool, but it's not. There's no emotional backing to it. Like it's Leo says too much action in Solo Leveling. That might be the case. That yeah, it's unbalanced. Solo Leveling is not a balanced anime. It's good for what it is. It's action, but there is emotion in Solo Leveling, but there's not like this where I was watching this. I got kind of teary-eyed, chat. I got kind of teary-eyed of why she like was doing this. So Leo says the manga version was better. Really? I wouldn't know. I hate reading, but I'll take your word for it. I will take your word for it. So they fight it out and they talk it out, right, chat? This one got me teary-eyed, man. I hate seeing other people cry, chat. I hate it. Makes me want to cry. That, oh, Candy, you a big baby. Only babies cry when other babies cry. Like, all right, shut up. Like, so I would recommend jumping on board with this anime, chat. If you like, you know, pass it up. It's like I said before, it's a palate cleanser from what you've probably seen like in the past, right? It's to clean the palate. If you're watching Call of Duty, if you're watching Dragon Ball Call of Duty, you have to really, you know, watch a little bit of this to get a little bit off your palate. Yeah. Leo says even got to see a bit of season 2. Really? Oh, because the manga. Yeah. For a lot of spoilers that's happened, there's a lot of spoiler stuff on Facebook, on other platforms. The bookkeeper told me, like, if you see any page do any type of spoiler for any anime, you just block it. Just block the whole page, because they can't be trusted. Yeah, they can't be trusted. I already know he got a son. Yeah, I already know he has oh, wait a minute, Leo. Oh, Leo. Well, here's the thing, Leo. I've already seen that spoiler. I already seen that spoiler somewhere. I gotta clip that out, Leo. You're making more work for me. Come on, man. No spoilers. I literally gotta clip that out of this video, out of this recording. Anyway, chat. I would highly recommend watching this anime. Highly recommend. It's a vibe, chat. It is definitely a vibe. Anyway, on with the rest of the show.